If you're still swiping after months of no dates, then here's the brutal truth. You're actually further away now from your dream girl than you were when you first downloaded the app. This was a realization that dawned on me. This was a period when I was really struggling in dating. I actually didn't have that many friends, and I craved a sense of connection. So I went to Tinder, like everyone else seemed to be doing really well on there. So why wouldn't I just be able to meet that dream girl, have that connection that I wanted? I remember going on, making my profile, putting the photos that I thought were going to be great, writing my bio, and I was riding a bit of a high. And then came the crash as I swiped and I swiped, and yeah, no girls were interested. I think like the only matches that I got were basically women that already had kids or girls that I just had no interest in dating, and probably bots as well. Let's put some bots into that mix. And after it was a few weeks of this, I just realized how awful I truly felt. How absolutely destroyed that this app had made me. And I realized three core things about downloading Tinder. And if I'd have continued with that app, I'd have never ended up where I was today, able to walk up to girls, say hi, take them on a date, and then be boyfriend and girlfriend with them for well over a year. Like, I've done that multiple times now. And that was never going to be the case with Tinder. And it won't be the case for you. Like, if this resonates with you, I want to talk you through three of these sort of painful truths of what was happening to me whilst I was on the app. Like, first and foremost, and I'm sure you've felt this, is like the self-esteem that was just getting crushed day after day, wondering like, oh, maybe today's going to be it, chasing one extra like, as just no girl was interested. And it made me think that I just wasn't good enough, that I'd never be good enough, and that the type of girl I'd want, she was so far out of reach, I should never even bother talking to her because it just wasn't even worth it. Like, my self-esteem was in the toilet, and this was affecting how I was even day to day in the real world. So that's the first thing, and I'm sure you felt that. Like, every guy that I speak to, every guy that comes into my program who's been using the dating apps, they speak to this message of how it just crushes their sense of confidence. Then, the next two, these are more of the unseen ones, and I think you won't have even considered these, but they're even more damaging. So let's talk about that first one. It gets you hooked on cheap dopamine and resets what you think, or what I thought was even required to meet a girl. If I start to train myself that, oh, all I need to do to meet a girl is sit on my arse, swipe, and get a match, message her a bit, turn up on a date, girlfriend easy. It trains me to believe this whole enterprise of dating should be the easiest thing in the world. I should have no problems with this, right? It's just like, this is casual. I don't even need to fucking put on a clean t-shirt. I can sit on my bed, play Xbox, and just swipe and get a bunch of dopamine at the same time. But we both know that's not really true. And it starts to send a bad message, because dating and your close relationship, it's the most meaningful thing we will ever have in our life. Like, you think that's going to come easy? You really think the most meaningful thing in your life is going to be something that you can just outsource to an app? It wasn't for me. And I hazard a guess it's not for most people. Yeah, you get some genetic freaks that just crush it on the dating app, but that's not most people. And it teaches you the wrong message. It makes you think that all this takes is some swiping, when that's really not true. And it'll discourage you from putting in the real effort of seeing the girl and for me to walk across and say hi, because that in the moment feels way more difficult. But this is normal, that is fake, okay? And then the sort of third point that I want to take you through that was really hammering me, it teaches you a bad narrative around what it takes to speak to a girl. And let me unpack that for you. On a dating app, we create our profile and we speak to the girl, but there's very little difference between sort of each profile, and you're very competitive on just what you actually text to the girl in the message. That's all she receives. Yes, she has a bit of a profile, but she's got 100 different guys all sending her, hey, this, like, all these messages. So it really starts to put an emphasis on, oh, how entertaining can you be? How funny can you be? All these things in the messages. And it teaches guys this bad idea about how you need to communicate with women. It makes you think you need to be the most rizzy guy in the world, because that's what it takes on the apps to try and get her attention. Because none of the other factors that you would get in real life come into play. Your body language, how you communicate, how confident you are. None of that comes into play over text. You just get simply the words. And we all know the stat that it's like, is it only 5% of communication is what you actually say, the rest is just body language. Yet on an app, that 5% is everything. So that's why it's so damaging, because I get guys that come into my program and they're like, oh, I just don't know what to say to girls. I find it difficult to go up and talk to them. I'm not entertaining enough. I'm like, dude, do you know what I said when I walked over and met my girlfriend? I simply said, hi, I thought you looked awesome. I wanted to introduce myself. Do that on a dating app, you get blown out because like there's 1,000 other guys messaging that. In real life, there isn't. And these are just the things that dating apps do to us that we don't even notice. It puts us in a worse position, because that's where I was. Like a few weeks into dating apps, I was in a much weaker position to be able to meet a girl than had I just stayed strong, really lent into, okay, I need to improve myself, improve some skills, get out there, do the difficult thing of walking over and speaking to her. I didn't do any of that. I was just sat there, cozy swiping. And if this resonates with you, because I guarantee you, these dating apps, they're not there to help you. And if you're done using dating apps and you want to know how do you meet women in real life, well, I put together a video that covers 5 simple habits that's taken all of my clients, it's taken me to be able to get that confidence in dating and meet women in real life and delete the apps forever.